Okay, here at the Rude Racing, we do our racing across multiple platforms and subgenres. And although what is usually covered here is sim racing related, there is a lot of great simcade, arcade, top-down games out there. And some time ago, I found my old PS Vita, which I bought on release I think in 2011, that I never really played much. Probably due to the fact that I only bought one game with it. And it was, well, not great to say the least. But ever since I found it, I've been getting really into the handheld gaming, buying some games, mostly in physical format, and playing quite a bit actually. And although racing game isn't what I enjoy most on this console, I thought I'd go through some of the racing games available on the platform, because maybe someone out there would find it interesting, and I certainly found it interesting to try them out. And in today's list I will focus on titles that are car racing titles, that means no combat racing games, motorcycle games, and only games that are available in physical format. I may make videos on the previously mentioned and digital only titles at some later point, if that is something that interests me. But let's get started. First off, Asphalt Injection, one of the better racing games on the platform, with a long career mode, which makes you drive through different types of races to progress. You start off with 2 cars and more is unlocked as you progress. There are different race modes in the career, which consists of regular races, elimination races, and cop chases, and possibly even more. Races have shortcuts and you can crash out your opponents no matter which mode you're driving. There are tokens or whatever placed on the tracks that gives you money or boost if you drive through them. There is also specific tasks to do in each race, a feature I don't really like, because you need to do these tasks to gain stars and progress. I'd rather it be reach top 3 to progress or something like that, but yeah, Asphalt Injection has the best handling of all the games featured in this video in my opinion, and is overall a pretty good and certainly one of the better games for the PS Vita. Next up, World Rally Championship 3, or VRC 3 if you like. A pretty decent title with a good amount of content, both in rally and stages, and also in cars. With not only VRC cars and teams, but also supporting leagues, the performance seemed good and it ran just fine as I played it, unlike some other games on Vita. But as expected, the level of detail isn't that impressive, but hey, it's an old game, for a 10-year-old console, what do you expect? But yeah, this was one of the first racing games I played for the console that had decent handling, so overall I find this to be a pretty decent title for the Vita. The next iteration, I guess, VRC, FIA World Rally Championship 4. Much like the VRC 3 game, this features pretty much everything you would want from a rally title, with modes like Quick Rally, Rally Mode, and the all-new Career. The Career reminds me of the V-Rally title I played when I was young, where you create your character and start as a youngster in rallying, signing your first contract with the VRC junior team, and working your way up to the VRC. A really good mode that could keep me playing for ages. Again, the content is great, loads of rallies, stages, and as in VRC 3, VRC cars, teams, as well as the VRC supporting leagues. This is probably the best rally title on the platform, and my personal favorite racing title on the Vita, or at least from what is featured in this video. And another one, VRC 5. So, VRC 5 features pretty much the same stuff as the previous iterations, even if the menus are different. You have the same modes, but with the addition of the Rally School, which is basically a tutorial that teaches you the basics, but also takes it a bit further to show you more advanced techniques as you progress through it. And they really try to push this racing school onto you in the beginning, which is really annoying. But yeah, lots of rallies and stages, but fewer cars than VRC 4. Handling also seemed different than VRC 4, not really better nor worse, just different somehow. Graphics hasn't improved much either, but rendering distance seem a bit lower. So yeah, another good Vita racing game. And from trying all 3 of these, I do actually prefer VRC 4. Formula 1 2011. This is a game that I played on the PS3 back in the day, and I had some good times with it, as I played it both with a controller but also an old Logitech wheel, which I still keep around for some dumb reason. Anyway, the F1 2011 features a quick race, time trial, Grand Prix, and a career mode. The career mode is very much like in VRC 4 and 5, where you create your racer, and get contracts from teams and try to get yourself to the highest tiered teams throughout the seasons. There are also challenges and multiplayer. I doubt the multiplayer works though. Challenges I didn't check out as I just played the career. Handling seemed decent, but as the cars are so damn quick, you don't really get the precision needed to drive them with the joystick, I feel. And the same goes for acceleration and braking, as the game automatically uses X and square buttons for those. So yeah, decent game in my opinion, but leaves a lot to be desired. Next up, Need for Speed Most Wanted. Another good game I played on the PS3, made for the Vita. Most Wanted is a game that most probably have played. It was hugely popular back in the day, and for a good reason. It's a very traditional Need for Speed game, and probably the best looking racing title for the Vita. EA of course want to push their origin, wanting you to log in to use all of the game's features, which can be a bit annoying. Cars look absolutely amazing, and it is a good game. Probably the most feature rich on the platform, but handling doesn't seem too good. I can't remember handling being so lackluster on the PS3 version, but yeah, solid title if you can get used to the handling, which I think shouldn't take too long. The next one is a bit weird to bring up, it's Horizon Chase Turbo. The reason it's weird to bring up is because I don't own this title, and I haven't played it. The game came out in 2018, very late in the Vita's life, and so there aren't many copies of it floating around, and if they do, they are expensive. And as I've said before, I ain't paying Bob handsomely to sell me a title I can get elsewhere. But the game is also missing from the PS Store, and even on my hacked Vita, I can't seem to get a hold of it. But it is a title that exists in physical format for the Vita, so I thought I'd mention it. And of course it is also available on Steam or Epic Games, so might be better to get it on there. And ladies and gentlemen, we of course saved the worst until last, and it's Ridge Racer. An absolute disaster of a game that you should never pay money for. There's about 0 content in the game with 3 tracks and I think 5 cars. No single player campaign, it's all focused on multiplayer content, which is of no use this long after its release, and was pretty much slaughtered back in the day as well, with reviews being very negative. What is also terrible is the handling. You have arcade handling, and then you have this bullshit, drifting through every corner in a manner that doesn't make any sense at all. So yeah, stay far away from this title, don't touch it, and certainly do not pay any money for it. And so yeah, let's just leave it here. But that's it for the Vita racing games for now. I may go through more of them if I feel like it sometime. Note that I just played these games for the first impressions, and everything said in this video is just my opinion. But yeah, that's it. Thank you so much for watching, and don't play Ridge Racer.